Hey guys, Rexasaur here, and welcome to another episode of Warhammer Lore for Total War Warhammer. We are going through the faction leaders, and today we will be talking about Grimgor Ironhide, who is amazing. And the final faction leader I will be doing a video for, because that's the only faction leaders I know that will be in the game. So I will be going through a lot of what I've found on Wikipedia, and there is a fuckload. He has got like one of the most amazing backstories. It's incredible. And he's just awesome. He's so cool. Anyway, let's go through Grimgor. Grimgor's past is shrouded in mystery, and all that is known is that one day he emerged from blasted wastes in the east, accompanied by a group of tired and scarred black orcs, who came to be called the Immortals. Grimgor came from the north part of the World Edge Mountains, where he conquered the first orc tribe he came across. In 1 month he had a small empire under his control, and went on a campaign of destruction unlike any other seen before. The first enemies Grimgor fought were the dwarves of Karak Kardin, who he defeated again and again, but he never actually tried to take over their stronghold. He was perfectly fine with just crushing the armies that the dwarves sent out to fight him, and eventually the dwarven losses had left them no choice but to hold up behind their walls and wait for winter to drive Grimgor away. After finally getting bored with the dwarves, Grimgor marched his forces to the kingdom of Kiselv, easily slaying the 3 armies sent to face him. But as his army got closer to the city of Kiselv itself, things went downhill for Grimgor when the Ice Queen of Kiselv summoned a huge blizzard against him, which forced him back to the mountain. The Skaven clans of Clan Moor and Clan Moulder had been fighting the Night Goblins previously occupying Karak Ungor, and when Grimgor found out about them, he and his Black Orcs engaged them as well. He slaughtered many of the Skaven, but this did nothing to deter the Ratmen, and every time one force was beaten, another passage would be revealed, containing another force of Skaven. Having found his never-ending fight, Grimgor was content and returned to the depths of Karak Ungor every winter to fight the right men. As time continued to go on by, he and his orcs drove the Skaven deeper and deeper into the depths of the mountain, and there was a high amount of losses on each side. Grimgor wasn't bothered by this, since he only cared about the fighting, and soon Clan Moulder became concerned about the Greenskin as he approached their home, the Hell Pit. Throt the Unclean, the clan leader of Clan Moulder, became extremely concerned, not just about his clan, but his experiments, since Grimgor was getting too close to them. He gathered a force of his strongest rat ogres and unleashed them against the Greenskin army, catching them by surprise and driving them back. However, Grimgor was able to get over his surprise and found somewhere to make his stand, a narrow tunnel. Whilst the forces fell back, he fought the rat ogres for hours, slaughtering all of them, and finally the Skaven pulled back, afraid of the mad green monster they were facing. After all those years, the Skaven, humans and dwarves held no interest for Grimgor, and he marched his army out, so to find a new challenge. After a small migration, Grimgor's army made it across the mountains, reaching the steppes of the Great Skull Lands, east of the World Edge Mountains. The minute that Grimgor's force made camp, an enormous cloud of dust was spotted on the horizon, and scouts were sent to see what was coming. The forces of chaos gathered under Crom the Conqueror, herald of Arcanon and bringer of the storms. Grimgor, having become bored with the tribes he's fighting for so long, marched his army towards Crom, believing that this was a fight worth his time. As Crom came across Grimgor's army, he found a very different force compared to the orcs he'd previously faced, well organized and prepared for battle. A titanic conflict began, resulting in hundreds of losses on either side, and as the fight raged round him, Grimgor sought out an opponent worthy of him, easily brushing aside the Krugans. He then saw Crom, cutting down anyone in his way and looking for an opponent worthy himself, before finally laying eyes on Grimgor. The two decided they found worthy foes in each other, and as the battle went on around them, the two fought for hour after hour. Despite one of them occasionally gaining the advantage, the two couldn't beat another, and finally separated at sunset, wondering how to kill each other. Crom lowered his weapon, indicating that the fight was over, and Grimgor roared in anger at such an insult, since he wanted to fight more. But as Crom continued to stand silently, the Greenskin looked around for the first time, seeing the bodies scattered around and his army had fled. Looking back at Crom and his forces, Grimgor slowly backed away. For the first time, he'd lost. He'd taken on a challenge that he couldn't beat, and spent the days gathering up his scattered army. Grimgor felt pride being eaten away, and swore to redeem himself in the view of Mork and Gork, the orc gods. He swore to gather the greatest orc warg ever seen, so destructive and mighty that his defeat would soon be forgotten. And that is Grimgor Ironhide. He is just, like, literally exactly what every orc should be. an orc is basically, I'm going to fight until I die. And Grimgor is just so strong at fighting that he can, like, he never loses. Like, he didn't even lose in personal combat against Crom. He just, like, couldn't beat him. It was a complete draw. And his army's the thing that fled, which is a bit of a shame. But you just sense, like, when this game comes out and you play as Grimgor Ironhide, you're going to be in control of this massive warg that he's finally put together to, like, eradicate everything and to just stop every defeat that's been happening. Like, I mean, he's lost once, and now it's just like, I am going to destroy everything. I think that Total War Warhammer, and when it's going to be set just after all of this, is going to be such an awesome pinnacle in the timeline of Warhammer. It's going to be invasion after invasion, and just if you're going to play Empire or you're going to play Dwarf, it's going to be survival. It's going to be basically almost like playing the Eastern Roman and Western Roman empires in Attila, except you're going to be incredibly more stable, and it's just going to be like, oh, it's going to be so good. I can't wait for this game, and I hope you guys can't wait. And I hope that these last few videos have really helped you understand what kind of faction leaders and what kind of armies you're going to be able to field and play. And I'd like to thank you all for watching these videos and to keep on supporting my videos. So, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like if you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I will be seeing you next time.